is Alan Ball.
Hi, this is Audrey Fisher.
This is Jim Perry.
Hi, this is Kristen Bauer.
Hi, this is Alexander Skarsgård.
This is Nelson Ellis.
Hi, this is Johnny Neal.
This is Rayo Tucker. Hi, this is Lindsay Pulsifer.
Hi, this is Ryan Quanton from True Blood.
Hello, this is Stu Alexander.
Hey, this is Lauren Bowles.
Hi, this is David Tishman.
This is Chase Everett.
Hello, this is Janina Gavankar.
This is James Frame.
Hi, this is Courtney Ford, and you're listening to True Blood Radio.
This is Liz.
This is Mel.
Welcome to True-Blood.net podcast number 155 for the week of October 23rd, 2011. This week we're going to discuss the results of the first ever True-Blood.net survey, fan survey. But first we're going to get a couple of noteworthy news items going for you.
Well, the big news this week is that Alan Ball is developing a new medical drama for HBO about a doctor at an abortion clinic. The series would be called Wichita and set in Wichita, Kansas, which happens to be just down the road from me. And the series would follow a surgeon who inadvertently becomes the focal point of a contemporary political, cultural, and ethical war, according to The Hollywood Reporter. It looks like it would be based on the life of Dr. George Tiller, who was he was very famous, at least in Kansas, as a doctor who performed late-term abortions, and he was killed by an activist in 2009. This is, I don't know. I had to email Alan and be like, seriously, this is what you're doing? You're going to set a series right down the road from me and it's going to be that? Because, you know, I have that on one side of me. On the other side of me is the Westboro Baptist Church. I don't know if you guys are aware of that, but you know that part in the opening credits for True Blood where it says God hates fangs? And that's a take on the God hates fags thing. That's the Westboro Baptist Church. That's their motto, is God hates fags. They're the ones that picket soldiers' funerals and stuff. They picketed Comic-Con a couple years ago. Remember that?
Yeah.
That was so Comic-Con. Because they got picketed back by people in costume. It was really
That was funny.
Yeah. So, you know, anybody who thinks Kansas is boring ain't looking hard enough. We've got controversy to spare. But it looks like if this goes through, it's just in development, which means that they're basically working on a pilot. They're going to, come up with the script, and then HBO, if they like the script, they'll order the pilot, and then if they like the pilot, they'll order the series. So probably, I would say next fall would be the earliest that would be on the air.
No. Oh, well.
Yeah, I have I don't even know what to think about that.
Yeah.
My own political views aside, I just don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
Being near my town. Yeah. I just don't want to deal.
Yeah. No, I'm probably not interested at all. But, I'm not surprised that Alan Ball chose to do this because it's what he does. Mm-hmm. He jumps in, wherever there's controversy, he just forces you to look at stuff up close. That's what he does. Mm-hmm. So, if you look at his record.
Yep. He has a fascination with, I think we talked about that before. He's got a fascination with death and what it means and in all its incarnations. And this would just, I guess, be the next logical step.
Yeah.
I think we'll probably end that discussion right there.
If you're looking for inspiration for your Halloween howl this weekend, Alcide has a list of tunes and films to share with you. We've chosen 5 from each category that we think will serve the purpose. Alcide's stack of DVDs might include Priest, Red Riding Hood, Scream 4, Fright Night, and Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. On his iPod for the evening, the 5 songs that he has on auto replay would be Bark at the Moon, Ozzy Osbourne, Alice Cooper's Welcome to My Nightmare, Animal I Have Become by 3 Days Grace, which has become my personal favorite song, Monster by Lady Gaga, and finally Rihanna's Disturbia. And if you have never seen that video to that song, check it out. It is definitely due for Halloween. It's really, really, really creepy.
I am not familiar with pretty much any of those songs, so I'm definitely going to have to go check those out. So last month, shortly after the True Blood Season 4 finale, we asked you to let us know what you thought via our first annual True Blood fan survey. And the results are in. We've taken some time to analyze what it all means within the context of fandom, and we're sharing the results with you guys. We have a post out on True-Blood.net. It's under the featured tab or in the rotating top banner thing. I don't even know what that's called. Rotating featured posts. Anyway, it's up there. And so you can go and see, get a better look at the numbers there. But we thought we would take the time on this podcast to do a little bit more analysis and kind of our thoughts of it, in addition to just delivering the straight numbers like we did on the site. So before we get to the questions themselves, let's look at who the respondents were. We had 2,031 people answer at least some of the questions, with 1,610 answering every question. And those numbers are easily enough to fall within the plus minus 3% error margin of total visitors to our site during that 3-week period that the survey was open. We had 204,101 visitors during those 3 weeks. And per the metrics, we only needed like 1,100 people to hit the plus minus 3% error margin. So it's actually lower than 3%. I just didn't feel like working it out. But of those who took the survey, this was shocking, 90.9% were female. Now, we knew we had a lot more female visitors engaged in commenting on our site and in the forum and emailing us, but that was shocking. We had no idea that the people that were actively engaged on our site were overwhelmingly female.
That shocks me a whole lot, because everywhere you go, I see and hear, men talking, oh, have you seen True Blood? It's such an awesome show. I mean, it just seems like such a guy thing. So I'm wondering if, I don't know, maybe the men just don't talk about it like we do.
I think that's the case. And with such an overwhelmingly female audience, at least on our site, they maybe feel like they don't belong. I don't know. You do, guys.
Yeah.
You do.
Don't feel outnumbered.
Ooh. Well, another surprise came in the age demo. 45% of the survey takers were aged 18 to 30, with another 28% falling in the 31 to 40 range. And then 16% were in the 41 to 50 demo, with the rest of the respondents falling either below 18 years, which was 3.3%, or older than 50, which was 7%. So that, if you add up those percentage, the number of people between the ages of 18 and 50, the percentage of our visitors who are aged 18 to 50 is 79%. That's crazy.
It is nuts.
It's just crazy. Yeah. So that tells us that Truebies who frequent True Blood are primarily, or True-Blood.net, are primarily women under the age of 50. And so that kind of, we do this fan survey on our other site, CheckTV.net, every year at the end of the season. And we've done it 3 years in a row now, and so we can kind of compare results and see what's changed from year to year. And I really wish that we had thought to do that on our True Blood site sooner, but better late than never. But one of the things that I can do over there is split out the responses by gender and get kind of a picture of the difference between what men and women think, because it's a much more even split over there. It's about like 60-40. It's about 60-40 over there. It skews more heavily male than female, but it is a geek show, so. And so I had planned to do that with these results, but the number of male respondents was so low, it wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
It just wasn't.
And it's odd too, because vampires are such a guy thing, you would think. But I think it's the sex appeal, on the show. Yeah. But even there, I think it's kind of split evenly, don't you?
Well, I thought so. I mean, you've got Anna Paquin.
Yeah, you got enough guy candy.
Deborah Ann Wool. I mean, there's all kinds of naked boobs on there. So I guess they're just more inclined to enjoy it in private. I don't know. This is getting a little dicey. This conversation.
Okay. We'll move on.
So let's move on to the content itself. And we'll flash some graphics up here, courtesy of Minda, our editor, so that you can kind of see some of the numbers. The first question was, which element of True Blood is the main reason that you watch? And you can only choose one response from this. And the number one ranked element is not a surprise given the subject matter. 38% of you said that the vampires are the main reason you watch True Blood. And that's good. You're in the right place. Love, sex, and romance came in a distant second at 26.8%. And mythology, the way that True Blood kind of reinvents mythology and interprets it for itself, that came in third with 16.4% of you saying that that was your favorite. And then ranking at the bottom of the pack were the Wares and Shifters with only 10 votes, which is 0.5%. The Witches with 2 votes, which was 0.1%. And the Humans with 1 vote, 0%.
Nobody cares about the humans.
Well, you know what? I thought that was really funny because the actual title of that category is The Humans. They're so outnumbered. Way to prove me right.
It is true.
Yeah. It is. It's totally true.
So you mean to tell me that even having Joe Manganiello as a werewolf didn't bump up any numbers?
Well, here's the thing. The next question had people ranking, it asked you to rank the various elements of True Blood by most favorite to least favorite. And this is a tough one. We do this on the Chuck survey, and I get complaints. And we did it for True Blood, and we got complaints. But, you know, it was good-natured grumbling, but there was grumbling because it forces you to analyze where everything falls on your own personal enjoyment scale. And things that maybe you would have ranked as your favorite, and then, you know, your second favorite, suddenly you're having to kind of really think about where it all falls on the scale from 1 to 10, 1 being least favorite and 10 being most favorite. So in theory, when you're forced to rank these elements, the results should be pretty much identical to question 1, where you had give us one response, what's your most favorite, what's your least favorite. And for the most part in this, they were. It's kind of a control question. Question 1 is kind of a control question for question 2. So the vampires earned the most rankings at number 10, which is most favorite. And they had 37.5% of the votes for number 10. Love, sex, and romance followed with 26.5% for most favorite. And mythology ranked third with 14% of the votes for most favorite. And it was 1, 2, 3 in the same ranking as it was in question 1. So that's the same. The bottom 3 categories were where the results diverged. The least liked element was the Witches, with 29% of the 1 rankings. And remember that 1 is least favorite. So 29% of you said that that was your least favorite. Humans got the second lowest with 16.5%, and that was followed by Family Ties, which is, Sookie and Jason, Terry and Andy, the Bellafleurs, Portia, all of the people that are related to each other, Tara and Lafayette, and how their relationships, how they interact. And that got 12% of people ranking that as their least favorite element. So what's missing?
Yeah.
From question 1, the Wares and Shifters. Now here, where you actually had to rank each element from most favorite to least favorite, the Wares and Shifters actually ranked highest at number 8. 15.4% of people said it was their third favorite element when they had to rank everything out. So when asked what's your favorite, and you only got 1 response, it came in 7th out of 10. But when you had to rank, it actually came in number 8 on a scale of 1 to 10. So at first, when I was parsing the results, I was thinking that must be a mistake, that maybe people got confused because of the 1 to 10 scale, with 1 being least and 10 being most. But when you have the top 3 and the bottom 2 rankings matching the results in question 1, that means, this is not a mistake. People knew what they were doing. So it forced people to think about it. And it also shows that when you only have 1 choice, that doesn't necessarily correctly reflect people's views of all of the elements on the show.
Yeah, so it's, okay, well, I want to vote this, but but I really like the werewolves.
Yeah. But they don't like them as much as they like something
Okay,
else.
So interesting. Very interesting. When you have to get down to details.
Yep. We got to get down to the nitty gritty. So the third question is, which season 4 development did you like most? And this was another ranking question. We're making you think. We asked people to rank the specific plot developments from most favorite, again, number is at 10, to least favorite, 1. And it was a landslide in favor of Eric losing his memory. A whopping 62.3% of you gave that a 10 ranking as most favorite. And if you look at the graph here, it's, that green line is way far above everything else.
All alone up there.
Eric! At the top.
Tower of Terror.
Pam losing her face was your second favorite development, earning the most votes in the number 9 spot with 15.9%. And then in a virtual tie for third place, separated by just 5 votes, it was Bill becoming king of Louisiana and Martonio's war against the vampires. So that was, some exciting stuff. But Eric losing his memory was, it was interesting, though, because we sure heard a lot of complaints about how that storyline was handled. And here we have the vast majority of people saying that was their favorite part.
I find that interesting. Very interesting. So, I mean, what is that saying? You guys aren't talking to us. You guys are lying. You're lying to us.
No, I think what it is maybe that, when you take a survey like this, it's anonymous. You just take the survey, you're done. We don't know who you are. We have some demographic information, but as far as an individual, we don't know who you are. And the results don't parse out that way either. So you can just take it, you can say, this is my opinion, and then you're done, versus getting in the middle of a comment thread of people saying, I hate this stuff, they're not doing it right, why can't they do this, why can't they do that? That turns a lot of people off. I know when I go to other sites and people are griping about stuff, I don't feel like getting in the middle of it. I mean,
or it could be that it actually was everybody's favorite story development for the season, even though they didn't like the way it was handled. Maybe they didn't, would have liked to have seen it played out differently. It was still their favorite. It was still the one that everybody talked about. I mean, it's almost all anybody talked about. So I could see it,
That's
true. If you look at it that way, I guess, that makes sense.
Yeah, that could very well be. Whether or not it was executed the way that people really wanted, they still count it as their favorite.
Yeah.
The way that it did go down. So, and here's what you guys didn't like. The bottom 3 results were Mavis haunting Terry and Arlene, Sookie's year-long disappearance, and Jason held captive in Hot Shots.
Mavis and Terry and Arlene, I understand why people didn't like it, because it really just didn't seem to fit in to the story. But I liked it because it was a ghost story, and I like ghost stories. And that's the only way I can justify liking it is that, I mean, I like ghost stories, and Mavis's story was really sad. Why it needed to be told, I don't know. It really didn't have anything to do. She didn't even come back at the end of the season when all the other ghosts were there. She wasn't there.
Right, she'd already passed on, or whatever it is they do.
Yeah, which we all thought that Gran did too, and yet there she was. So I can see, why it might not have been everybody's favorite, but I like ghost stories. So Sookie's disappearance, I liked it. I mean, you liked it for your reasons too.
Yeah, I thought it was a really wonderful way to move the plot forward, to move the character storylines forward. Because we were through 3 seasons, and it had been like 2 months, 10 weeks maybe, 2.5 months. Let's go. Let's pick up the pace. And so that was a way to do that and show changes in a lot of different characters that just weren't happening at the previous pace. And so I really liked that. But that happened way at the beginning of the season, and then it kind of, the impact of it, the effects of it continued all season long. But as far as it being the most liked, it was easy to forget, I think. It was easy to forget what kind of impact it was having on the show, and all of the characters, all of the stories, and that, that's just I think when you're writing it, when you're plotting it out, or like the writers are, and they can see the whole season in one big picture, or later on when we get the DVDs or we have it on the DVR and we watch it all together, some of the things are more obvious, like how her year-long disappearance impacted everything that happened that season. But when you're watching it week to week and you're talking about it and there's all this other stuff, and I mean, talk about overstimulated with this show, there's so many other things and it just kind of gets lost. And so, yeah, so I understand why that's at the bottom. I probably would have put it probably around 6. I probably would have ranked it around 6 out of 10, but yeah, I get why it's low.
And then the hot shot thing with Jason, I think that if the results of that whole thing were that Jason was turned into a werepanther, it would have been ranked a lot higher. Everybody really wanted to see that. I know I did. But as it stands right now, it, again, like the Mavis thing, it was kind of pointless. Why did we go there? It didn't really, I don't really think that it needed to happen for Jason for his character to grow up, to become more responsible. I really didn't think it needed to happen, because I think before that, he already was. Don't you?
He was. He had shown us that he was there. He was taking care of everybody at Hot Shot, and he was betrayed. It was an ultimate betrayal for him, for them to turn on him like that. And I agree. If the result had been that he turned into a werepanther, I think it would have ranked a lot higher. But for what it was, I just don't. I keep thinking that it must be a setup for season 5. They must have had to do that to get us to a certain point for season 5. I don't know. If he doesn't turn into a werepanther, I just don't see the point.
And again, you never know. You never know when things are finished. Things are never really quite finished in this show. However, I mean, as we saw the beginning of this season, how they threw back to something that happened in the first season, part of Sookie's powers, where they were actually manifested in season 1 in her fight with the rat trace. So, but you forget about that. It's been 4 years since season 1, since that, and that was like one of the first. That was the first episode, wasn't it, or the second?
Yeah. No,
that was 4 years ago.
Premiere.
Who's going to remember that? So I would have to say that I get if they're going to do that. True Blood isn't finished. It's got a lot more life to it. As you say, though, I think the writers are looking at the big picture, and we don't see it that way. We get 12, 13 episodes, and then we break for 9 months. And much of what's, what happened, the points they were trying to make are, no one's going to remember them. So it's,
unless we all make the effort to watch all the previous seasons before the new season starts. I'm beginning to think
that's so too, because I kind of came in cold this season.
So did I, because I really wanted to come into it from, well, we knew that Sookie would have been gone for a year before it started. And so I really wanted to kind of come into it the way she would have. She would be back, and it would be a year later, and she would be like, what?
Yeah.
What's going on? And so I thought, okay, I think maybe to get the full impact, that's what I should do too. Well, I'm done doing that. I'm ready. From now on, I think I'll just marathon everything, all the seasons.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe we'll do it all together.
We should. Yes. We should have a viewing party. Well, question 4 was, whose season 4 character arc did you like most? And rather than have you choose a single character on this one, we decided to go with the ranking system again. And then that produced some interesting results. As you might expect from the results of season 3, Eric ran away with this one. He earned 63.8% of your most favorite votes for top ranking. Second place went to Sookie with 26.9%, and third went to Bill with 16.9%. So the 3 major players were 1, 2, and 3. Battling out for least favorite character, though, were Tommy, not unexpected, Andy. Again, he didn't have much to do, so he didn't have much of a character arc. Although what he did with the V addiction was powerful stuff. It just wasn't really that featured. So, but Marnie's character arc ranked in the bottom 3, and
that surprises me too, because I really thought she was a great character. I liked her better than Marianne.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Maybe not better than Russell Edgington. The same, I would think. I really liked her. I really thought she brought some interesting stuff that the characters had to deal with.
Yeah, she did, and she went from mild-mannered, kind of meek, bookish, withdrawn, to incredibly powerful. And the way that Fiona Shaw played it, we thought that it was Antonia who was making her so confident and strong and powerful, and they come to find out, no, Marnie's out for revenge. She's hungry, she's power hungry now, and even when Antonia's gone, she's still, vicious and wants to kill the vampires and get revenge for things that happened to her in middle school. I mean, it was really an incredible character arc. So again, I was just surprised that ranked so low.
You guys are interesting.
You are. So question 5, which character who died in season 4 will you miss the most? This one was not a surprise, given the number of comments after the season finale. 43% of you said you would miss Jesus Velasquez the most.
I agree.
And yeah, we get that. Although it does sound like we're going to see him some in season 5 in some way, some manner.
Good.
So he'll be around. Tara Thornton's presumed to death had 24.9% of you feeling down, and 12.8% of you will miss Queen Sophie Ann. And I think I might have put Sophie Ann down for mine, because I feel like that character was a miss. She had so much more potential than what they did with her. And we'll talk about that.
I'm pretty surprised that Nan didn't make that cut. Didn't make that list anywhere.
Yeah, she was, let's see. She was actually came in 5th. She was no, I'm sorry. She came in 4th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she did. She came in 4th. Yeah, followed by Tommy Mickens. Go figure. Tommy was 5th. But far and away it was Jesus. Okay, now here's the big one. Here's the one that is kind of what sparked the idea to do this in the first place, and it's actually what sparked the idea to do it over on the Chuck website. It's which couples are you rooting for, couple or couples? And over on the Chuck site, it was the debate about Chuck and Sarah getting together and all of that had me saying, okay, you know what? Let's quantify this. I want to know, what are people saying versus, these people that are saying this versus what the majority of fans think. So, the shipper wars are way more intense over on the True Blood site because there's so many possible pairings, where on Chuck it was, Chuck and Sarah. That's about it. But here, Suki's got options, and so does Jessica, and So, so this was a big surprise, though. Given how vocal different shipper factions are, I really expected a pretty balanced result, and we allowed respondents to choose more than one couple in this on this question. They could do more than one response because we thought, that's only fair. You may be you may be rooting for Eric and Suki, but maybe you're also rooting for Bill and Suki, or you may be rooting for Jessica and Hoyt and Terry and Arlene. So we didn't want to make you choose just one, but holy cow, this was a shocker. So we had leading the pack by far was Suki and Eric with 69.8% of the vote. That's almost 70% of the votes of people saying that they're rooting for Suki and Eric. Next was Jessica and Jason with 45.4%. And that was,
Oh
I
yeah,
was shocked by that. Were you
absolutely.
shocked by that?
I mean, it wasn't even till towards the end of the season that there was any possibility even shown. And even at that, to me, it was because of the blood connection. So I didn't even hear. I mean, there was some murmurings in the forum, oh, wouldn't it be cute? But for the most part, pretty much everybody was pretty happy to see Jessica stay with Hoyt.
Yeah, which Jessica and Hoyt, they ended up with like very, very few. I think less than 10% of people were rooting for them, which
Yeah.
again really surprised me. Third was Sam and Luna with 30.7% of the votes. Another surprise, I didn't realize that their relationship had so many fans, so that's kind of cool. So what of Sookie's other suitors? This is I really thought that it was going to be pretty even, pretty evenly spread for Sookie, but no. Sookie and Alcide got 21.5% of your votes, and Sookie and Bill only got 16.8%. Okay, people. Now, based on the very vocal comments in the Bill versus Eric debate, I really expected that to be way closer.
Yeah, I agree. It just seemed to be split, just right down the middle to me. But
it's a difference of 53%. 53%.
That's pretty huge.
That is enormous. Apparently that's a minority that's just really vocal, the Bill and Sookie fans. So, wow. Sookie and Sam, poor Sam, only garnered 2.5% of your votes. One of them was mine. And that was trailed only by Jason Crystal with 1.5%.
Surprised that was even on there. Anybody even?
Well,
no, I mean, not that it wasn't on there, but that anybody voted at all.
Not very many. Not very many. I think that represents less than 10 votes. Oh.
Yeah, that's
funny. I think it's about 10
That's
votes.
pretty funny. So, no Sookie and Alcide, huh?
Yeah.
And it's so funny to me because I would have thought that there would have been more Sookie Alcide people, just as well. I thought it would have been split in thirds.
I really did too. I really, really thought we were going to see those three pretty close together
now,
on the graph.
The fact that there isn't a lot of Sookie, or there isn't probably any Sookie and Sam, doesn't surprise me because the show isn't really putting that forward like the book did, or like the books are.
No.
So,
no, it's not. No.
Even though I would prefer it too.
I think when the books are done, Liz.
I think so too. I do. I strongly believe it. I'm going on record. It's going to be Sookie and Sam. And there's going to be a lot of pretty sad people out there.
But not me.
I know. I'll be happy. I'll be happy. I know I will be happy. And not because I hate Eric or hate Bill. Because I don't hate either one of them. I love them both for very different reasons each. They're two different people. Which I guess that's why I was surprised at the large margin between those two, because they're I don't know. I have to say, where did all the Bill fans go? Where'd they go?
I think there maybe just aren't as many. I mean, because if you look at the other questions where Bill could rank, he doesn't. He's not nearly as high as Eric. And so I think, or Sookie. So I think the Bill fans are just, it's a smaller number. They're just really good.
You know what it might be? This season, Bill was put forward in a very different light, and he wasn't with Sookie. He was more portrayed as, at times, a friend. I think we'll see that grow more as the seasons go on. But I kind of think at this point, people are not really looking at them as a couple anymore, whether it's because they don't want to or because of the fact that True Blood did a good job at portraying Bill as a strong character, a likable one, without Sookie, just standing on his own.
That could very well be, because I like Bill far more in season 4 than I did.
Oh,
in
I do
season
too.
1 through 3.
I thought he was fantastic. I mean, I even liked the way they changed up his look, his physical appearance.
Oh yeah.
They really made him king, and I think a lot of people like that, because I was hearing that from a lot of people who were Bill and Sookie fans were even saying, this Bill is even better than book Bill. Which isn't saying that Charlene did a bad job with her character. Bill just wasn't very prominent in her books at this point. So I wonder if that's what was in people's minds when they were doing the survey, though.
It could be, yeah. I wonder how we could change that up for next year.
Yeah.
We'll have to think about that. To maybe get a better read on how people feel about Bill away from Sookie, not as part of a couple with Sookie. So I did find it amusing, though, that we put in Pam and Ginger just kind of as a joke, and that actually went higher than Sookie and Bill. And Jason and the Reverend Steve Newland, they got a fair amount of votes too. Oh yeah, they got more than Jessica.
Oh my goodness, that's hysterical.
Yeah. So
I think it's funny. Now the Pam and Ginger thing would be that would be funny.
That would be
so
hilarious.
funny. Everybody likes Ginger.
She's got a good heart. She doesn't remember much, but she's got a good heart.
Yeah.
All right. So question 7. Who do you think should be named season 4's most valuable player? And if you've been paying attention, this should be a no-brainer. Alexander Skarsgård took the crown. 48.7% of the votes went to Skarsgård as Eric. In a distant second was Nelson Ellis as Lafayette with 13.6%, and Kevin Alejandro as Jesus rounded out the top 3 with 10.6% of your votes. Nelson and Alex, yeah, I can see that. I was surprised, however, that Marnie wasn't up there.
I was surprised too, because that would have been my choice.
In fact, I think that's maybe who I put. I can't remember if I put Nelson or Fiona. This was another one that you can only choose one. So, but no, Fiona Shaw was kind of down there. I think she was number 5 after Sookie.
Interesting.
Sookie at number 4, and Bill I think was number 6. So yeah, it was surprising. But at the bottom of the list were Marshall Allman's Tommy and Chris Bauer's Andy with just 2 votes each. And Paula Turbay's Antonia and Lauren Bull's Holly with just 4 votes each. And, that makes sense. Nobody liked Tommy. I mean, that was a thankless character. Andy just didn't have a lot to do. Antonia, I kind of thought she would get more, but I think Fiona Shaw really stole the show there. And then Lauren Bowles' Holly. Yeah, I mean, she didn't really have a lot to do either. And since those are the 2 that are left of those 4, maybe they'll have more happening in season 5 to give them a chance to rise in the rankings. But yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, we'll see. I hope so. I like Holly.
So do I. But again, I think she's got some stuff she's got to. I mean, you can only work with the content you're given. So she's got.
Yeah.
To have a larger storyline.
Yeah. See, now I would have been hard. That was a hard question for me. Most valuable player, I wouldn't have been able to, because I had 3. And because I think Skarsgård did a marvelous job in portraying the 2 Erics that we saw this season. I think he had fun with it, and he made me laugh. I'm sorry, he did. He cracked me up.
He did.
Nelson, I would have, yeah, Nelson definitely. But it would have been hard because I liked Kevin Alejandro, but I really think that Fiona Shaw did such a fantastic job. Again, she kind of had a dual role too. She had to talk to herself. She had to argue with, she had to fight with herself. I mean, I don't know.
Mhm. And she kept switching up accents and mannerisms, and yeah. Although, you know, Sam Trammell, speaking of having to switch up accents and mannerisms, when he was playing, Sam was playing Tommy, playing Sam. I mean, that was
good work.
That was some good work.
Yeah.
That was some good work. Yeah, he just didn't have enough of that, I guess.
Maybe that's what it was. And Bill, Stephen Moyer, I think he did a fabulous job. I think he did every bit as good as Skarsgård did.
He did. It wasn't quite as flashy of a role, but he was fantastic as the king. I really, really like that since Alan decided to keep him around, he put him in that role because I love Bill as king.
I hope King Bill is not going to go away.
Yeah. No, I'm really looking forward to Eric and Bill working together next season. Which brings us to question 8. Which storyline are you most anticipating in season 5? And this one was another kind of landslide. The return of Russell Edgington is your most hotly anticipated storyline with 31.9% of the votes. Second was Eric turning Pam with 20.5%, and the possible introduction of Quinn with 14.5%. And we did ask you, we did say, you know, Eric and Bill working together, but that actually came in 4th of the 10 choices. So I guess I'm not the only one, but you're more excited about some other stuff. The storylines that people aren't all that excited about are Terry and his army buddy, Patrick Devons, which we just don't really know much about that yet to be excited. The mysterious new female vampire, and I wonder if we polled you guys again, if that might be higher in the rankings because we have more information about it now.
Yeah, I bet.
Character. And the fallout of Sookie killing Debbie. Those are the bottom 3.
Yeah,
most anticipated.
I wondered, you know, of course we don't know, but I wondered how much they were going to go into that. I definitely didn't pick Quinn. I don't care for Quinn. I don't, if they never bring his character into the show, I would not miss him. I didn't like him in the books either. I didn't, you know, I don't mind saying it. I was not a Quinn fan. Not a big fan.
No, I wasn't either. I did not vote for Quinn. I voted for the return of Russell Edgington, and then I probably would have been Eric turning Pam, and then Bill and Eric.
That would have been my number 1 pick. In fact, it was. Yes,
Bill and Eric working together?
Because it's funny.
It is. It's going to be so good. They have such amazing chemistry.
They do, and they play off each other so well, and I love that big brother, little brother, irritating kind of, you know, thing that they got going on. They're both so hilarious at it, and they got the best lines for those two. Yeah.
They do. They give Pam a run for the money.
They do. So we'll see.
So let's see, question number 9. How do you feel about spoilers? Okay, we were pretty sure we knew the answer to this one, but we figured this would be a good time to just check in with y'all and make sure we were on the right track, and we are. 63.8% of you said that you love spoilers, and another 21.9% said you don't seek them out, but you do read them. So that means about 86% of the Trubies at True-Blood.net like a good spoiler. Only 9.1% said they didn't want to know anything about the show in advance, and then 5.2% very wisely said they just don't trust spoilers. Depends on the source, but, you know, if they're coming from Alan Ball, right on.
Yeah.
Don't trust him.
Yeah.
So questions 10 and 11 were demographic questions, which we talked about earlier. So question 12, this is another surprise. This was a really, really surprising. We asked, do you consider yourself a bookie, a book purist, a series purist, or a hybrid of the two? And the book versus show debate is one that's been going on for years in our comments, on our forum, on Twitter, on Facebook, face to face, because that still happens. It's just been going on forever. And we wondered, how do our readers view themselves? And, we really expected a fairly even divide here based on the comments that we've seen, but no, oh my gosh, you guys shocked us on this one. A whopping 71.9% of you said you view yourself as a hybrid, someone who likes both the books and the TV series for what they are. In other words, you can separate the two. And that's really not what we expected you guys to say.
Yeah, did you guys, I mean, I wonder if the question was clear enough. Did you guys really understand that it wasn't, well, I like them both together? It was...
It said right on the question, I like both the books and the TV series for what they are.
That really shocked me because, I mean, you look through the comments on our website and in our forum, and it's always, 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 it's not done like that in the book. Why don't they just follow the book? If it's not broke, don't fix it. And this really blew me away.
Mm-hmm. Well, then even more surprising was that in second place came the series purist, meaning that you want the TV series to create its own stories and not follow the books so closely. That came in second. And then third, with only 9.3%, were people who viewed themselves as book purists, meaning that you want everything from the books to be in the show the way that Charlene Harris wrote them. I mean, what? Where are all you hybrids in our comments and in our forum? Speak up. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that really blew me away.
And there are actually that many people, almost 19% want the show to not follow the books so closely. That really surprised me. I mean, it was that question, we put that in there just for balance because we knew we were going to have the book purist and then, the I like them both for what they are. And we felt like we had to have one that was just for the series purist, but we really didn't expect that many people to identify with that.
Yeah.
So. Wow.
Okay.
Way to surprise us, everybody.
No kidding. I know, I consider myself a hybrid.
Yeah, me too. I just didn't realize there were quite so many of us.
I didn't either. I mean, you couldn't tell.
Yeah.
That's not saying anything bad. It's just saying you guys don't talk.
Yeah, you need to speak up. Join the conversation. So, from all of that data, we can conclude that the people that visit True-Blood.net, which is the site with the most traffic, the True Blood fan site with the most traffic, you guys skew young and female. Eric is by far the most popular character and storyline in season 4, and the majority of fans are rooting for him and Sookie as a couple. Surprisingly, few people are rooting for Bill and Sookie, but Jason and Jessica are fan approved. Again, I did not see that coming. We can't wait for Arissel Edgington to return, and Pam continues to rank among the fan favorites. She was, if you go back and you look at the graphics, you'll see that she was hovering right around the top quite a bit. Most fans appreciate the TV series and books as separate entities, and the majority are hungry for spoilers to ease the wait between seasons. So, yeah, that's our very first True Blood fan survey.
Yeah.
Some food for thought.
Yeah, I was pretty interested to see the results. I couldn't wait.
Yeah. Yeah, I apologize that it took so much longer than I had expected. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but we've been having some server issues. And I've been spending way more time than I would like dealing with tech support and having them not listen to me when I say I think this is the problem. And then 4 or 5 days later, they go, ooh, we think we found the problem. And I say, what did I say? Way in the beginning. This is the problem.
Grr.
I'm feeling a little hassled,
Grr.
guys. Just FYI.
So if we seem a
So-
little tired and wrung out for this podcast, bear with us.
That's why. And that's why it took so long to get these results to you. So, yeah. Converse. Tell us what you think. Do you agree? Disagree? Are you the majority? The minority? Are you ready to start converting people to your point of view? Just remember the comment guidelines. If you wouldn't say it to the person's face, and that includes the people working on the show because they do read our site, then don't post it. But otherwise, go for it.
All right. Hey, thanks you guys all for participating too. It was fun.
It really was. Yeah. Thanks a lot. We hope that you enjoyed doing it because we plan to pull you all again at the end of season 5 and compare the results after season 5. That's when it gets really interesting.
So all you hybrids out there, get more vocal.
Yeah. Start talking. Okay, well, are you looking for the perfect True Blood collectible? Do you need one more t-shirt? Do you have a Truebie on your holiday gift list? Stop by the True-Blood.net shop where we've collected and curated the official merchandise, added in the Sookie novels, and even included other films from True Blood cast members all in one place. You can find that at True-Blood.net/shop.
And that's our show for this week. Be sure to stop by True-Blood.net for the latest True Blood news, spoilers, and more during the week. You can also follow us on Twitter at True-Blood.net. And why not join us in the forum, talk about what you're reading and watching during the hiatus and what movies you're going to see and what you're doing for Halloween. Send us your pictures. That'd be fun. So thank you for watching.
We also want to thank Minda for editing our podcast. And again, thanks to all of you who took part in the survey. You can subscribe to True Blood Radio on iTunes at the link now showing on the screen. And don't forget, you can send in your comments or questions to webmaster at True-Blood.net. And stay tuned because we are hoping, if we can get all of the technology to work, cross your fingers, we are hoping to have a live podcast on Halloween night. It would be probably at about 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. We're still working out the exact time. We will announce it as soon as possible at True-Blood.net. Again, mark your calendars. Halloween night, live podcast.
All right.
See you there.
Bye-bye.